Jumbo out. Everybody Saburi. It's your boy African King Darius back with part 2 of my recording on temperament traits. Now, in the previous one, I talked about the temperament traits that were for children. And for some odd reason, I just feel like I should touch on the temperament traits for adults. Yes, I'm doing one for the adults. Okay, so now with the adults is a bit trickier because a lot of us as adults have different temperament traits about us that make us unique. You know, we have temperament traits about us that make us different than other people. Like, for example, with me, I'm more of a. I used to be a sanguine. I used to have the sanguine temperament trait, but I had a incident that happened with me during the time when I was in the mall where there was a shooting, and I became fearful of being around you know large crowds because now I think that something bad is always going to happen. So because of that, I don't go around large crowds. And when I go around large crowds, it makes me nervous. Okay, like I become, I start having an anxiety attack. It really starts to bother me. So, what are the different temperament traits for adults? Let's get into this right now, people. I love this because all of this has come back to me. I have not taught about this in years, man. And I just love how it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me. I love it. So, temperament traits for adults. Okay. Each and every one of us all have things about us that make us unique. Okay, we all have characteristics about us that make us special. All right, some of us are very easygoing people. Some of us are outgoing. Some of us are loud. Some of us are proud. Some of us like being ugly. Some of us enjoy being class clowns. Some of us enjoy being clowns. Period. Dressing up like clowns. Each and every one of us all have things about us that make us unique. These things are called traits. Okay. And our traits affect our temperaments or the way that we approach each other and and the way that people can approach us. These temperament traits are very important because your interaction with that person and knowing that person's temperament trait, in order for you to interact with them, you have to know what makes that person tick. You can't just approach a person that is an easygoing person and think that you, an outgoing person that's loud and likes to be outspoken and talk about things that bother you. That easygoing person might not be like that. The easygoing person might be reserved. So with adults, it's a little bit different than it is with children. It's more complex, which is why I like talking about this. So, let's start. I'm going to start with the active temperament trait for adults. Now, I'm going to remind you now, for those of you who need to understand, this recording is going to be rated PG-29. That means it is not for children's ears. So if you're going to play this recording, please do not have your children around unless you want them learning about sex early. Because I'm getting deep into this, man. I mean deep, okay? One might ask, why am I saying this around my children? I've already had this conversation around them before. So they're used to it. So, the temperament traits for adults are a bit different because adults have a very complex way of dealing with things. Okay, and not just talking about just for adults. I'm talking about for the age of 16 and up. The temperament traits that go beyond, what you're used to doing with children when they're younger. Now, when the child is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and all that, those are still children temperament traits. Even as teenagers, their temperament traits are still typically the same, and you can still, approach that child with the same mentality you would when you were engaging with them before. Their temperament traits normally do not change. With teenagers, people think that, oh, you become a teenager, that means you're going to change. No, that just means that now you're going to have to adjust the way that you approach their temperament that they have. Their temperaments normally don't change. Every person has a primary temperament trait, and they have a secondary temperament trait. Christopher, say primary. Say secondary. Okay, so every person has a primary and secondary temperament trait. Even children do. With adults, their primary trait is what matters because that's going to be the one that we mostly do in the first place. The primary temperament trait, it's funny because for us adults with our primary temperament trait, it's all about knowing that is the main thing that describes who we are. Okay, so for example, Christopher, what do you think my primary temperament trait is? What is the main thing about me that makes me so unique? What do I like to do for fun?
Exercise.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. I do actually love to exercise. And I can say this, which he probably is emphasizing on what happened yesterday. Yesterday, my family decided to order out, and I did not have fun with that at all, period. The whole idea of ordering out to me it disgusted me. I am a health nut, okay? First of all, I'm a vegetarian, okay? Trying to switch completely to vegan. I'm probably not going to be able to do that until I move, but...
Now you're going to get that done. You're going to get that done.
Yeah, right, we are. Thank you. So you're absolutely correct, Christopher, and thank you for that. I do like to exercise. That is one of my main temperament traits, which means I like to be what? Say active.
Active.
That's a part of me being active. One of the things I enjoy doing for fun is going to the gym and exercising, running track, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, stomach crunches, lifting dumbbells. I like exercising. That's the thing about me, is the fact that I'm very active. I have a very high motor, which I was told when I was a kid I did. So as an adult, I'm still going to continue to have it. That's why I said a lot of times people think the temperament traits about a person changes when they become an adult. Sometimes it does, but in most cases, your primary temperament trait does not. We tend to hide our primary temperament trait and lean more on our secondary because we think that our secondary is the one that everyone's going to mostly care about. And our primary, we feel like, is something that made us to be a child. No. Just because you used to enjoy it when you was a child doesn't mean you still can't enjoy it when you're an adult. Anyway, right. So for me, it was active. I like to move around. I mean, even as I've been doing this recording, I have not been keeping still. You've been hearing my hands clap. My body is moving. I always like to be active, moving around. I have a high motor. I just have to keep going. Those type of people, some people hate being around because they're like, can you sit down for 5 minutes? You're not going to get me to sit down for 5 minutes. If you don't want to go to the club with me to go dancing, I like to party. I like to samba. If you can't go with me to the club to go samba, then we're not going to have fun. I'm sorry, but yes, I'm an intellectual, but you are not going to get me to do that all the time. I have a very high motor. I want to be able to be doing things where I get to interact with it. Let me run around with you. Let's go outside as adults and play tag. looking like children. Take me outside to go shoot some hoops with you till my knees start giving way because I'm 30 years old. You know, you know, take me outside to go play baseball with you. Let me smack that ball so far to the point we can't go retrieve it no more. Sit back. That matters, okay? That really does. That matters. So the active primary temperament trait is what we're going to focus on for right now. Those who like to be active as adults are ones who have a very high motor. The best thing for you to do with them is to engage them in things where they get to always do a lot of things. Like, for example, they might be the ones who like to clean up all the time. And Chris, what do I like to do? If mommy is gone at work, what do I mostly do?
Clean up and take care of laundry.
Yep, there you go. I clean up and take care of laundry. The boy not lying. I clean up. I do most of the cleaning. Why? Because I have a high motor, and for me to have to be able to express all of that energy, I like to do things that require me to have to move around a lot. For fun, these are the type of things that a lot of people who have a high motor like to do. Okay? Matter of fact, no, I'm not going to get into that yet. I'll cover that later on with things you can do with them. Okay? So, in order for you to interact with a person with a very high motor or an active temperament trait as an adult, the only thing you can do is be on the move all the time with them. Be on the move all the time with them. So, since I did describe all of the temperament traits and what they meant in the previous recording, I'm not going to cover that in this one. I'm going to jump right to things you can do with those people, with those temperament traits. Okay, so what can you do with a person with an active temperament trait as an adult? Oh, Lord. First of all, as you can hear, those with an active temperament trait, a lot of our ideas don't stay on point. They don't stay consistent. We jump from one thing to another. And I was doing that on purpose to basically emphasize my point. If you're dealing with someone with a high motor or an active temperament trait, the only thing you can do is be prepared to sweat. Stop, Christopher. Be prepared to sweat. Be prepared to move around. Be prepared to burn some calories because you're going to be spinning your head all the time. Now, the thing is, people who have the active temperament trait, they're not good on the first date. Stop. Okay? This is the idea of a first date. Taking your behind to the club where y'all get to move around and dance. They like to dance. They like to do the cha-cha. They like to go to places where they get to be this life of the party. This is why I said I'm going to get really deep into this stuff. Those who have a lot of high energy, as far as them being good date material, I'm going to tell you this now, they're not. They're not very good date material. And I'm going to say, the only reason I say that is because if you have the temperament trait of being a person that's sedentary, trying to date somebody that's active, you're not going to have fun. You like to sit down. They're going to want to go ice skating. They want to go to the skate park. They're going to want to go to run track. They're going to want to go to run around and do things. They're going to want to run behind you and tickle you and stuff like that. Things is going to get you to move around. By the time you get back to your place, you done burn 2,360 calories just going out on the first date with them. That's the first date. You burn 2,000 calories. I don't. I didn't come to you for a fitness exam. I came to you for date night. I don't think that this is gonna work. So you should not ever be in a relationship with somebody that is sedentary. If you're active, don't be in a relationship with somebody sedentary. Now, as far as active people with the active temperament trait, they like to do too much, and especially during sex, they do way too much. Way too much. They the ones who like to be in different type of sexual positions that is going to drive you insane. They like to have your legs in the air, playing with different things, and they like the main thing that's bad about people with that active temperament trait, and I can only speak from what I know. I'm not like that. I'm gonna get into the temperament trait that I have. Me and my son share one temperament trait that's very similar with one another. You wouldn't even guess what it is. The problem about those with the active temperament trait is the fact that they orgasm very quickly. Okay? You can think you about to get 2 good solid hours on this brother. This Negro got maybe every bit of, I don't know, and I hate to say this number, but 60 to 70 strokes, and then he's done. Yep, 60 to 70 strokes. Pump, 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 nut, and he's done. Like, no lie. 60 pumps, and homeboy is done. If you're dating a girl with an active temperament trait, the best thing for you to do is to end up going down on her because, and this is funny because I got into a conversation with my cousin about this, the other day. But a lot of women think that guys can't make them come when they are going down on them. The truth of the matter is, with a woman with an active temperament trait, yeah, you can. She's going to get done, and she's going to be done very quickly. You can go down on her and finish her up that way, and then she's going to be, like, completely kaput. So, yeah. Yeah. The active temperament trait is not fun. It's fun if you are a person that likes to, run around and do stuff. That's why, as kids, yeah, okay, but when you start to become an adult, you're going to want to slow down in life. It's like, okay, can I slow down for a little bit and maybe catch my breath? Nah, not with somebody with the active temperament trait as an adult. Nope. You might as well be prepared to be having burning knees or burning back. You might as well be prepared to be sweating every day because they're not slowing down, not for nothing, not for nobody. Let's move on. So activities you can do with a person with the active temperament trait. As far as going on a date with them, take them to the club. Y'all can go for a walk. Y'all can, go out to, run around a little bit at night. Take them to, y'all can go to the gym together. If it's the first date, the best thing for you to do is to go to the club. That's the only thing I can think of because honestly, there is no other place they're going to want to be other than the club. They like being the center of attention. Okay, so I ain't want to get to psychology behind everything, but it just happens. Sedentary temperament trait for adults. Those that are sedentary as adults are the ones who like to pretty much hit you up with Netflix and a movie. And it will be the extra part that's going to be happening. And that is going to happen, okay? Those who are sedentary, I find they have the ability to engage in their mind more detail-oriented things of what they like to do. Date night with them is fun because they're very creative. They like to throw things on you, and all of a sudden, y'all could be like, okay, you hit her up. Hey, what's up, Tiffany? Hey, what's up? So look, you gonna be busy this weekend? No, I'm not gonna be busy. Well, I was thinking maybe we could go out. Oh, well, I know this spot that we could go to. She already know this spot you can go to. You probably like, just wanted to hear her say okay, and then you were gonna think up your mind, oh well, where can I take her? No, homegirl already know where she want to go. So that what happens with those that are sedentary. They're gonna like to go out. You cannot take them to the club. They like to go for long walks in the park. They like to go for long walks down near the beach. They like to feel the wind blowing through their hair. They like to talk. They like to just romance. They like romance. They like a man with flair. Okay? They like someone, and man or woman, that's gonna engage that romantic portion of them. They love that guy or girl that's gonna give them the flower and say, "You're my everything." That's what they like.
Hi, Darius.
Don't speak to me right now. Being rude. So Siri was just being rude. Y'all think Siri don't engage on her own. She just did. I did not say anything to get that woman's attention. I'm gonna get y'all food together. Okay? Just be patient. So the adults with that temperament trait are very creative. I like being around those kind of people. My temperament trait is the next one I want to touch on. So before I say that, what type of activities can you do with a person that's sedentary? Like I said, for date night, you can take them out to dinner. You can take them to a movie. You can, take them to the museum. They're intellectuals. They like to be engaged intellectually. Okay? The next temperament trait I'm about to touch on is not the same for kids. It's completely different with adults. And that's the chameleon temperament trait. No, this temperament trait is not the same for kids as it is for adults. For adults, it's more complicated, okay? And I'm going to explain it. The chameleon temperament trait for adults, and y'all can look this stuff up. The chameleon temperament trait for adults is completely different because psychologically, we tend to make this stuff happen mentally before we even do it. Now, with children, it happens because they're trying to fit in. With adults, we've already gotten past that part of trying to fit in with anybody. Now we do this whole thing of basically utilizing the chameleon temperament trait because we're trying to change ourselves. It's not to fit in with anybody. It's to make life a little bit better for us. As adults, we're always questioning, are we happy with where we are in life? And because of that, we tend to develop the chameleon temperament trait, which causes us to adapt attributes and traits from other people and put them upon ourselves and accept that that's who we are, knowing that's not who we are. Okay? For example, I have the chameleon temperament trait, but I have a unique strand of it, okay? My chameleon temperament trait, over the years of my life, I picked up the innate ability to be more outspoken. Before, I was not, and let me make sure I'm using this correct. Siri, define what introvert means.
Okay, I found this on the web for defined word introvert means.
Siri, what does introvert mean?
As a noun, it means a shy, reticent person.
Okay,
Do you want to hear the remaining one?
No, that'll be all. I had to, since she wanted to be used, I went ahead and used it. I had to make sure I was using the correct terminology because I always get introvert and extrovert confused. I was more of an introvert, okay? I was shy, I was reserved, I didn't speak. I mostly stayed to myself, okay? And even when I turned 18 years old and I met my first girlfriend, I still was shy and reserved. I stayed quiet. And she said one of the things that she felt so cute about me was that I was like that shy boy. She always thought that was cute. But she ended up getting me out of my shell. And all of a sudden, I started to become more of an extrovert, which is a loud, outspoken person that likes to be the center of attention. I started becoming more extrovert than introvert. I wanted to be seen, So I adapted the chameleon temperament trait, and lo and behold, as time would tell, that temperament trait would be something that would stick with me for the rest of my life, and I use it in a way to be able to adapt to social situations much easier, and especially when I get hired at jobs, I use it. We as adults do use this a lot. When we go to jobs and it's something we need to learn, we tend to learn from that job much easier by adapting our chameleon temperament trait and picking up on how everyone else does things at the job. You might see how Jasmine may be on the job and she might do her section where, she handles the bottom row first and then the top row and then do the middle row last. All of a sudden, you're new to the job, so you may try that and all of a sudden that works for you. But then you see David, he starts the middle shelf and then we'll go to the next shelf and start the middle shelf, then the next shelf, start the middle shelf, next shelf, the middle shelf, and he might do the middle shelf for each and every area. But then the top and the bottom shelf, he may start to work on after he's done the middle shelf for each area. You may find that eats up more time than the way that, Jasmine does it, and you might start doing it that way because you're new there. We do this all the time to try to figure out a rhythm that works best for us. So it's nothing wrong with having the chameleon temperament trait. The only downside to it is a simple fact that we begin to lose our own self-identity. We don't and are not able to identify who we are. We begin to lose track of who we are and what makes us special. The only way that we can get back that ability to identify who we are is by always reminding ourselves, okay, I'm not going to do this to lose who I am. I'm only doing this to better understand what I may and may not like. Utilizing the ability to have the chameleon temperament trait is a good thing because it helps you begin to understand yourself better. But don't lose yourself in the wind of you trying to figure out who you are when utilizing that temperament trait. So, things you can do with the chameleon temperament trait as far as date night. Those people will adapt to a lot of things. If you don't like being mimicked, where someone's going to do all the things that you like to do, don't go out with this type of person. Understand they're doing what they're doing to try to get you to like them, okay? They're doing what they're doing to try to begin to make themselves feel more comfortable at the situation. The first date night is going to pretty much be about you. It's not going to be about them. They're not going to make it about themselves. They're going to make it about themselves after the second or third date. But the first and second date, no. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, it's going to start to become about them. They're not going to just say, okay, I'm going to do everything you want to do. It's just for the time being, starting out, they're trying to get a rhythm of things and figure out, okay, what is it about this person I like? I want to do what they like to do so I can figure out that person. We do this to try to get to know you better. Okay? I said it was going to be complicated, guys. I did. I said it was going to be complicated. I really did say it was going to be complicated. So, you can take them to the movies. You can do stuff like that. All the things you would do when someone's sedentary, it's just you have to understand that things are going to be a bit different, okay? They're not going to be like wanting to jump all over the place and stuff like that and say, okay, well, I like to do such and such. No, they're going to do everything you like to do, okay? Because they're trying to figure you out. That's all. On my first date, I was... Excuse me.
Nothing.
Yeah, that was. I did say excuse me though. Did I not? So was that rude? No. So the comment you said was rude, bruh. Sit still. So, the temperament trait of the chameleon, or the chameleon temperament trait, pretty much, those people are, you can do everything with them. You can take them out on dates that you would with everybody else. Just understand they're going to make it about you, not about them. Okay, so, let's move on. As far as sex goes with them, again, they're going to make it about you, not about them. So whatever you like to do sexually, they're pretty much going to be like, okay, I just want to do whatever you want to do. If you like, all that additional stuff, yeah. Now, sedentary, let me get back to that. Like I said, they're going to like to do all the things you like to do. Eventually, though, with the chameleon temperament trait, they will tell you whether or not they liked it. Now, they'll try it out, and then they're going to say, well, I didn't like it. And don't be mad if they don't like it. Understand, they were just trying to figure you out. That's all. So it's nothing against you. It's just the simple fact that that's just how they operate. Okay. Now, Now, I want to go back to the sedentary. I didn't say this. Sedentary, sex with them is amazing because everything is creative. Okay? They are the ones who want to experiment with things. The only problem about it is don't experiment with something that you're not going to be comfortable with. If they want to use all kinds of toys and swings and stuff like that you're not going to feel comfortable with, always let them know. Let that person know up front. Okay? I just wanted to touch on that. Because it's not the same with the chameleon temperament trait. With the chameleon temperament trait, they're not going to tell you up front that they were uncomfortable. They're not even going to tell you up front that they don't like it. They're going to go through with it. If you say, well, I want to stick this in your butt, they're going to let you stick it in their butt. I mean, after all, they're not going to turn it down and say, I don't want it, I don't feel comfortable with that. No, if they have that chameleon temperament trait, they're going to be okay with doing everything you want to do. This is how you can identify someone with the chameleon temperament trait. I'm down for whatever you want to do. If they say that phrase, they had the chameleon temperament trait. Okay? I have said that phrase 1,000 times. When I started dating my first girlfriend, right, things were a bit crazy because I was introduced to things sexually that I never would have been into in a million years. But I got into it. Like, she was into S&M. I mean, the whips, the latex, the putting stuff in places. I've had fun, if you will. But there were things also that I realized after I've done that with her, I'm like, I'm never going to do this again in my life. And I can tell you this, as a man of 30 now, I've never did it again. Okay? And this goes back since 18. You do the math. 18 from 30. So that's a whole 12 years ago, man. A whole 12 years ago. So understand, a lot has changed in 12 years. Wow, 12 years. God dang. That's almost a decade and a half. But yeah, I mean, I have done things with her that I would never do again with anybody, and I have not done those things. So, so that's that. Next up is the fearful temperament trait, and I want to really talk about this one because for kids, it's yeah, it starts then, but as adults, it becomes worse. The thing is, as kids, we're gonna always have that fear sometimes of certain things, but when the adults start to have fear, that's when there's a red flag. Okay, as an adult, if an adult starts to have a lot of fear towards certain things, there is something psychologically wrong. At this point, it wasn't addressed as a kid, and now as an adult, it's already progressed to something far worse than you could ever imagine. These type of people end up becoming sociopaths and psychopaths. They end up becoming rapists and murderers. They use the ability of fear to try to protect themselves, in the sense of saying, okay, I'm doing this just to protect myself, or I'm doing it so I don't get hurt again. They're the ones who suffer from a lot of depression, anxiety, you know, some of them suffer from, one of the things that I have going on with me, which I have dissociative identity disorder. Okay, they suffer from that, and dissociative identity disorder is basically when the brain has a chemical imbalance where it creates multiple personalities within the person's personality itself. There's always one main personality that basically controls all the other personalities, but the other personalities do develop a mind of their own where they don't have to respond to the main personality. I do suffer from that, and there is no cure for dissociative identity disorder. The only thing you can do is live with it. Okay? I have a total of at least 12 different personalities that I know of. And it gets worse over time. Sometimes those personalities end up doing things that you will remember. And a lot of times, for some people, they don't want to remember, but they do end up remembering. And it's bad. But a lot of people who have that fearful temperament trait are scared of a lot of things, and they use that fear to do crazy things that they feel is in their right to do because they're scared, because they're trying to protect themselves. There is no reasoning with someone who has that fearful temperament trait. You're not going to tell them that they're wrong for what they're doing. You're not going to tell them that they shouldn't do it. They're going to do it, and they're going to enjoy it because they are putting in their mind mentally that they're protecting themselves. These people, this type of person you should never go on a date with them. You should avoid them, period. And the reason I say avoid them is because unless you're going to be okay with trying to fix this person and going through hell to try to fix this person, you're not going to have fun with this person at all. Unless you like being a sociopath. Moving on. So we covered sedentary. We covered, sanguines. Oh, Lord. Adults with a sanguine temperament trait like to be the center of attention. And they always like to be around people. They always like to be the ones that's in charge. Those with the sanguine temperament trait, though, are very good natural born leaders. They're the ones who can affect a lot of change in today's world. Okay? I will say, Will Smith, he has the sanguine temperament trait. And I don't know him personally, but I can say from what I've studied about Will Smith, he does like to be around a lot of people. His wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, definitely has a sanguine temperament trait. I mean, she loves being in front of the camera. A lot of people who are actors all have that sanguine temperament trait where they like to be around a bunch of people. Now, I understand you're saying, well, why are they always avoiding paparazzi? Well, they avoid paparazzi because, honestly, seeing all those lights flashing from cameras and stuff like that can cause, you know, seizures and stuff like that, and it can cause medical issues to happen to them. And a lot of times, those issues do have prolonging effects on their actual acting career. I've seen a lot of times they were actors who were, charged by paparazzi, and that's thing bow, they just end up getting hurt. I mean, let's be real. A lot of these actors avoid paparazzi because they don't want to, always have their life 100% on display. And a lot of those who do that are the ones who don't have that sanguine temperament trait. They are reserved. They're introverts. So, those with the sanguine temperament trait, the thing is though, when dating them, understand you always are going to be going somewhere where it's a lot of people. They're going to want to be seen with you. They're going to value you. They love you. They care about you. But they are obnoxious asses sometimes. They want to be up in people's face. Those with the sanguine temperament trait always like to be the life of the party and the center of attention. If you come up with an idea for date night, understand they're going to get mad at you. Why? Because they want to be the ones that come up with an idea for date night. Well, hey, David, are you going to be busy Saturday? No, babe, I'm available Saturday. Well, I was thinking maybe we could go to this new art exhibit they have downtown. Well, babe, let me get back at you with that. I'm going to let you know, he's mad, okay? He's mad. If he didn't say he was willing to go and he said he doesn't have any plans, why is he saying, I'm going to get back at you with that? He's going to call you back, hey, babe, so I had this awesome idea for Saturday. He's going to act like he did not hear that you gave him an idea for Saturday. I think that we should go to Club Morpheus that they have downtown. I really, really, really like going to this club, and I think we should go there. I have a lot of friends at that club, and I would like for you to meet them. I mean, it's nothing wrong with meeting his friends, but god dang. I mean, what's wrong with y'all being alone? You're not going to get a lot of alone time because they like to be the center of attention, okay? They want to be around a bunch of people. They don't like to be alone. This stems from always being around a bunch of people when they were children, okay? The thing is, sex with a person that has a sanguine temperament trait as an adult is not... They're going to want to record it. And you have to be okay that recording is going to be seen by their friends. That recording is going to be shown to a bunch of people. They may even share it online. It's not to try to shame you. They love what you're doing with them. It's just a simple fact that they're obnoxious. Okay? They're obnoxious. That's why the sanguine temperament trait as a kid is okay. But as an adult, it becomes a bit much. Okay? It becomes a bit much. Always wanting that person up in your face, you will have no time to yourself. You will have no time with your family. You are going to be consumed by this person for the rest of your natural born life. Those who have the sanguine temperament trait are selfish, obnoxious asses. And the only thing they want to do is have you to themselves. It's nothing wrong with loving your woman or loving your man and keeping them to yourself. But it's another thing when you're doing this all the time and it starts to become obsessive. These people have been known to see you hang out with somebody that's actually your sister and they don't know it's your sister, so they key your car and bust your windows. Okay? Those type of people have been known to go off the deep end with jealousy and they don't even know the whole scope of the situation. Nor are they going to find out. And then all of a sudden, once, the situation does explode to becoming that bad, oh, they want you back. Man, get out of my face. So we covered we covered sanguine, sedentary, active, chameleon. Um, we covered fearful. So that's all of the temperament traits in a nutshell. You know, the thing is, with adults, it's much different because a lot of these temperament traits deal with a lot of psychological disabilities with adults than it does with children. With children, these temperament traits help them figure out who they're going to be as adults. But with adults, they already gotten to that stage, not gotten, they've already arrived to that stage of being an adult. And now those temperament traits that they have are completely inside them, and now it's starting to affect them psychologically. Okay? So a lot of people with these temperament traits, you know, it deals a lot with their psychology. You just have to get to know the person that you're around and figure out their quirks, because a lot of times you never know. With those that are neutral, the reason I didn't touch the neutrals is because the neutrals are the ones who do everything, okay? They're not chameleons. They just do everything. They're okay with being flexible. They're flexible people, you know? They're the averages. You know, they're just average. That's all. So, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day to listen to part 2 of my recording about the temperament traits. I hope this helps people understand each other more, you know, and will help you begin to identify, you know, people more. Soon I am going to be doing a recording on the psychological aspects of the temperament traits and what psychological disabilities are affected with those people with those temperament traits. Thank you. So again, Ashanti, 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 Ashanti for taking time out of your busy day to hear me out.